Hi, Satkiana.
Hello.
Thank you very much for accepting to share your testimonial about your path from pain to beauty.
You're welcome.
So if you just want to start by explaining what the pain was, how it appeared in your life.
Sure. hmm Well, I was born with a genetic eye condition and it caused my eyes to not develop properly. So the pupils were off center, the lenses were displaced, and I had to wear really thick glasses when I was young. And I remember, actually I don't remember this as a child, but my mom tells a story about me. I didn't acquire depth perception. It was really something I had to acquire because my eyes weren't naturally structured with that ability. So we had this driveway at our place, and I was about 2, and I'd learned to walk, and I was going down the driveway, and she said I had to turn sideways and go down sort of 1 foot parallel to the other at a time.
Somewhat like you were learning how to ski.
Yeah, exactly, slowly down the mountain. So that was kind of my journey with the physical world. It was very slow, it was very unsure. And I remember having to go to a special therapist, a play therapist, so I could learn how to walk on balance beams and do all these things just to acquire more confidence in my ability to relate to the physical world.
Right.
And so there was that journey, and then in grade school I was teased, probably starting in about grade 5 is when it really hit, but I was teased in grade 5 and 6 quite viciously. And I remember this one day, I'd been teased so much, and this one day one of the boys, I was walking from the French portable to the school, and he threw a snowball and it hit me in the glasses, and my glasses flew off. And because the glasses symbolized that source of pain, I was so angry, and I was this shy, inward child, but suddenly I just lit loose like this ferocious little thing, and I went up and I grabbed him by the hair and I started kicking him in the shins and screaming at him, and spent the rest of the day in the nurse's office recovering.
The kid or you?
I did. I'm not sure if my glasses were broken. I don't think they were. But anyway, yeah. Then we moved on to grade 7, and that kid never bothered me again. But yet I still internalized this sense of being different, and being, I thought I was ugly, and that I didn't have any strong sense of worth at all, or confidence.
Or how would the stories playing in your head, how would that sound like if you were writing a dialogue?
Something like, if my grade 7 voice would have said, I was invited to sit at the lunch table with Trisha, and I didn't go because I didn't think I was good enough to sit at that table, and what would the other kids think? They wouldn't really accept me at that table or want me at that table, and then I'd have to speak to them, but I don't have anything really to say to them that would be interesting to them, or so something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then did that last for a long time, or how did that go?
I moved on. I went to a number of different schools. So I moved on to another school for grade 8, and I got teased in that school. But I also made a really good friend in that school. But by the end of grade 8, I actually started to be kind of a tyrant to my bullies, speaking back to them. I remember the funniest thing was, here I was, this kind of shy girl, like very good, not rebellious, just good kid. And at the end of the year, one of my bullies said to me, "It's a good thing you're not going to the same high school as us next year, or you'd get your head kicked in." Really? That is so funny. But I remember spending my grade 8 prom sitting in my mom's car, crying my eyes out because I was so shy to be in the prom, and to be dancing, and to be seen, and I just really felt like I didn't fit in. And so my mom had to, try and convince me to come out of the car, and my best friend, my only good friend in grade 8, had to convince me to come out of the car to go back into the dance for a grade 8 prom. And then in high school, I spent 3 years, the first 3 years at one high school, and that was challenging too, because again, like I had for the first 2 years I had the big glasses, and I remember walking around with my head down, just not wanting to make eye contact, not feeling confident to make eye contact with anyone. And I had my friends, but my better friends went to other schools, and so it was kind of a lonely time. I spent a lot of time sitting by myself and by my locker, writing poetry and short stories and that kind of thing. And I got teased. I remember being called fish eyes and just, and in grade 11, I finally got contact lenses. And it was the first time I'd ever been able to see myself without glasses. Look in the mirror, because if I took my glasses off, it was all blurry. So I looked in the mirror and like, wow. So that was the first inkling I had, was like, wow, I'm pretty. And I remember going over to my grandmother's house, and I had the contact lenses, and I felt so good. And my grandmother said to me, I bet you think you look quite pretty now, don't you, dear? And I said, yeah, kind of hesitantly, like, should I not? And then she said, well, don't let it go to your head. And my mom was there. My mom, she's like, I just wanted to knock Nana's block off for saying that to you. Like, yeah, here's this girl who her whole life, been so, felt like she was this ugly duckling, and then finally she gets this little inkling that maybe she's not.
Uh-huh.
So.
And was that the beginning of a change of the internal dialogue that went in your mind to say, wow, so maybe I can get a little bit more beautiful and more beautiful?
It was an inkling, because then I went to a new school for grade 12. And in the new school, I thought, wow, things are going to be different. Nobody knows me here. Things are going to be different. And so I showed up to the new school, and, there was a boy I liked, and he was interested in me too. And we were both kind of too shy to ever make anything happen of it. But, there was that happening. And one day I walked into my English class, and I sat down, and one of the girls was like, hey! And even though I had contacts, I still couldn't see. I've never had 20/20 vision. So I thought she was waving and saying hey to me, but it turns out it wasn't me, it was someone behind me. And I'm like, hey! And as soon as I realized that she wasn't speaking to me, it was someone behind me, I was mortified. And immediately I went back inward, and the old voices came, and I was just like, oh! I just kind of froze and put my head down. And so there was always this kind of like struggle, like put my head up, look, make contact, and then something would happen and I'd feel devastated and I'd go back inward. So it was this journey for a while. It was that journey for a number of years. And I went on to university, and then I went to psychotherapy school, and always was that deep quest to know who am I really? What's the truth of who I am inside? So I always had this quest through psychology, and then it became spirituality to know that truth. So eventually, after spirituality school and graduating, I moved back to Ottawa and met my spiritual teacher, which was a tremendous gift. And I remember writing on the form that she gave us, why have you come? And I wrote, to develop self-confidence. So it's still, that underlying thing. And then over time, it just started to happen. I started to teach, I started to speak more, I started to be able to engage in group dynamics where I didn't feel like I wanted to crawl out of my skin or go hide in the corner, spend 20 minutes in the bathroom. Like that social anxiety and that real sense of being uncomfortable in my skin started to just smooth out, and suddenly I didn't have.
So from your own perspective, what would you say was the turning point in realizing your own beauty?
I would say the turning point was, it all had to do with confidence, self-confidence. That key thing that I had written on that form. And that's what it came to. The more I felt inside this sense of like, wow, I like who I am. And the more I allowed my true nature to come forward in its expression, I was able to look and say like, wow, she's beautiful. She's really beautiful. And you know, just a few weeks ago, I got up and I was combing my hair, and I looked in the mirror and I said, wow, it was a bit like I took my own breath away, you know. I'm like, wow. And I looked in the mirror and I'm like, you're really beautiful. And it wasn't about, you know, oh, because I have like, you know, the perfect this or that. Nothing like that. It was something, it was what was emanating. It was that inner beauty that was emanating that I saw. I saw it in my eyes and I saw it in my glow, and just the sheer light that was coming forth. And I was like, wow, wow, I'm in love.
That's great. Thank you, Satkiana.
You're welcome.